You've seen it on every job site. Two foremen with the exact same experience. Same license, same years in the trade. One of them has a crew that runs through walls for him.
I love that guy.
They show up early, they communicate problems before they become disasters, and they'd follow that foreman to any job in the city. The other one can't keep a crew for 6 months. Guys quit, apprentices check out, the job site is constant drama.
I quit!
Same skills, same trade knowledge, completely different results. The difference isn't what they know about the trade, it's how they talk. In this video, I'm going to show you the exact communication skills that separate the foreman nobody wants to work for from the leader everybody fights to get on their crew. We're covering how to command a room without raising your voice, how to handle conflict on a job site without losing respect, and why the way you talk to apprentices determines whether they become assets or liabilities. Here's something nobody tells you when you're coming up in the trades. Being the best electrician, the best plumber, the best carpenter on the job does not automatically make you a good leader. Those are two completely different skill sets. And the trades are full of guys who are incredible with their hands but terrible with their mouth. I live this. I spent over 30 years in the skilled trades. Started as a union carpenter, worked my way up to project manager, and now I'm a UAW inspector. And I can tell you from experience, the jump from tradesman to foreman to project manager is not a skills jump. It's a communication jump. When you're a journeyman, your job is to execute. Show up, do the work, and go home. But the moment you get bumped up to foreman or crew lead, everything changes. Now your job is getting other people to execute. And if you can't communicate clearly, if you can't give direction without creating confusion, if you can't handle a conflict between two guys on your crew without it turning into a shouting match, your technical skills don't mean shit. And this matters to you because this is the ceiling that keeps most tradespeople stuck. You can be the best HVAC tech in your local, you can run pipe faster than anyone, but if you can't lead a crew, you're never getting past journeyman pay. The guys making $90,000, $120,000, or $150,000 and up in this industry aren't the best technicians. They're the best communicators, project managers, superintendents, GC owners. Every single one of them got there because they learned how to talk like a leader. Your tools got you into the trade. Your mouth is what moves you up. And that's a skill you can learn just like you learn to read blueprints or bend conduit. But what does talking like a leader actually look like on a job site? Because this isn't TED Talk, this is construction. And the rules are different when you're standing on a steel deck in July trying to get 15 guys to hit a deadline. Every morning on a job site, there's a moment most people don't even notice. It happens in the first 30 seconds after you open your mouth. Your crew, your apprentices, the GC, the other trades on the site, they're all making a split-second decision about you. And that decision is simple. Does that person know where we're going? Or is he just winging it? Think about the worst foreman you ever worked under. I bet he did one of two things. Either he gave vague directions and then blew up when the work was wrong, or he rambled for 10 minutes, gave you the entire history of the project, and then by the time he stopped talking, you still didn't know what you were supposed to be doing that morning. Both of those guys had the same problem. They didn't know how to be direct. And on a construction site, vague communication doesn't just waste time, it costs money. It creates safety hazards, and it makes your crew lose confidence in you. I've managed jobs with 50, 60 guys across multiple trades, and the single biggest thing I learned is this: your crew does not need you to be the smartest person on the job, they need you to be the clearest. They need to hear you say something and know exactly what you do next without guessing. There's a switch I call the confidence switch, and it changes everything. It's the difference between, I was thinking maybe we could try to get to the second floor roughed in, and then if that works for everybody. Or, second floor rough-in today. Sparky, you're starting with the north wall. Dave, you got the south. I need it ready for inspection by Thursday. Questions? That's the same information, completely different energy. The first one is a suggestion, the second one is a direction. And on the job site, people follow directions. They ignore suggestions, and this matters for your career because the GC is watching how you run your crew. The superintendent is watching, and when they see a foreman who gives a clear, calm, confident direction, that's the person who gets promoted to PM. That's the person who gets handed the bigger jobs, not the best tradesman, the best communicator. Flip that confidence switch for a second. Stop suggesting and start directing. Be the clearest voice on the job site, not the loudest, the clearest. Say what needs to happen, who's doing it, and when it needs to be done, then stop talking. That's leadership on a construction site. Now, being direct gets people moving, but what happens when things go sideways? Because on every job site, conflict is coming, and how you handle it determines whether your crew respects you or resents you. Conflict on a job site is inevitable. Two trades working on top of each other, a missed deadline that puts everyone behind, an apprentice who keeps making the same mistake, a sub who shows up with the wrong materials. If you're leading people in construction, you're going to have hard conversations. The question is whether you handle them like a leader or like a hothead. I've seen foremen handle conflict by screaming across the job site in front of everybody, and I've seen them embarrass apprentices in front of the whole crew, and I've seen them avoid conflict entirely. Let problems pile up until the whole job is a disaster and then blow up. None of that works. Screaming doesn't fix the problem, it just makes people afraid of you. And afraid people don't give you their best work. They give you the minimum to avoid getting yelled at. And avoiding conflict doesn't make you the nice guy, it makes you the weak link. Because your crew sees what you're not addressing, and they lose respect every time you let something slide. Here's the framework I used to use. 3 steps. Enter with respect, speak with honesty, and hold space for a response. Enter with respect means you pull the person aside. You don't call them out in front of the crew. You don't come in hot. Even if you're frustrated, you start calm because the second you lose your cool, you've lost the conversation. And speak with honesty. That means you say exactly what the problem is without dancing around it. Not, so you know things have been a little bit off lately. That's vague and it's useless. Instead, hey, the last 3 days you've been 20 minutes late and it's putting the crew behind. What's going on? Clear, direct, not being a smartass, and hold space for response means after you say your piece, you shut up and listen. Maybe there's something going on you don't know about. Maybe there's a legitimate issue. You're not there to punish, you're there to fix it. And you can't fix what you don't understand. And here's why this matters for your career. The foremen who handle conflict well kept their best guys. They keep apprentices who turn into strong journeymen one day. They build crews that stay together for years. The foremen who handle it badly are constantly training new people because nobody wants to work for them. And that reputation follows you in this industry. Your local knows, your GC knows, word travels fast. Handle conflict early, privately, and directly, and respect the person. Be honest about the problem, then listen. That's how you have hard conversations without losing your crew's respect. In fact, that's how you earn it. Because your crew watches how you handle the tough stuff. And when they see you do it with integrity, they trust you more, not less. Now, directing your crew and handling conflict are critical, but there's one more communication skill that most people in the trades completely ignore, and it might be the one that has the biggest impact on your career long term. Hey guys, it's JV. Let me pause the video real quick. If you want a faster way into real careers that pay, check out Course Careers. They train people for in-demand jobs in tech, business, and all sorts of construction trades without wasting years in college. They're rated almost 5 stars with thousands of real reviews you can check out. You earn a certificate of completion and they help you prepare for real job placement. And if you use my link, you get $50 off instantly. So if you're serious about changing your income path, the link is below. Now here's something that doesn't get talked about enough in the trades. How you communicate with apprentices isn't just about teaching them the trade. It's about determining whether the next generation of tradespeople is any good. And right now, this industry is facing the biggest labor shortage in decades. The way you talk to an apprentice is either going to help solve that problem or make it even worse. I've seen both sides of this. I've seen journeymen who treated apprentices like they were a burden. Just hold the light and don't touch anything. No teaching, no explaining, and no patience. Just barking orders and expecting the first year to read their mind. And then complaining that nobody wants to work anymore when the apprentice quits after 3 months. And I've seen the opposite. Journeymen who took 5 minutes to explain why they were doing something a certain way. Who said, let me show you this, instead of get out of the way. Who corrected mistakes without humiliation, and those apprentices, they turned into the best tradespeople on the job, not because they were more talented, because someone communicated with them like they mattered. The skilled trades are losing people. Young workers come in, get treated like garbage, and leave for easier jobs. And every time that happens, it's not just one lost worker. It's the 30-year career they could have had. It's the crew they would have led. It's the business they might have started. All gone because somebody didn't know how to communicate with a 19-year-old who was trying to learn. And this matters to you, whether you're a foreman, a journeyman, or even an apprentice yourself. Because the way leaders communicate on a job site, it sets the culture, and the culture determines whether people stay in this industry or walk away. So every time you teach an apprentice with patience and clarity, you're building the workforce the industry desperately needs. And every time you humiliate one, you're shrinking it. So talk to apprentice the way the best mentor in your career talked to you. Explain the why, not just the what. Correct mistakes privately, celebrate progress publicly, and remember that every journeyman in this industry was a clueless first year at some point, including you, including me. The leaders who built great apprenticeships build great crews, and the leaders who built great crews build great careers. That's how communication becomes your legacy in this trade. So you've got the confidence switch, the conflict framework, and the apprenticeship approach. But none of these individual skills matter if you don't understand the one thing that holds them all together. Hey guys, if you're getting some good information and value from this video, do me a favor and hit the like button. It helps more people in the skilled trades find this video who needs to hear it, and it helps the algorithm push it out to more people as well. I appreciate it. So here's what you know now that you might not have known a few minutes ago. Your trade skills got you into this industry, but your communication skills are what move you up. The confidence switch, being the clearest voice on the job site, not the loudest. It's what separates foremen from great foremen. The confidence switch, being the clearest voice on the job site, not the loudest, is what separates foremen who get followed from foremen who get tolerated. Conflict handled early, privately, and with honesty builds more respect than avoiding it ever will. How you talk to apprentices doesn't just shape their careers, it shapes the future of this entire industry. Leadership in the trades isn't a title, it's a way of communicating, and it's a skill you can build just like any other skill in your toolbox. Communication only takes you so far if you're not in the right career to begin with. Whether that's getting to the skilled trades, moving up to project management, transitioning into architecture or drafting or estimating, or exploring high-paying careers outside the trades entirely, the foundation matters. You need to be on the right path where these leadership skills actually translate into higher pay and bigger opportunities. And if you're not subscribed, guys, hit that subscribe button. Every week I'm breaking down new careers and new money and the skills that help you move up in the trades and build a life on your terms. Not your boss's terms, not the GC terms, yours. And drop a comment. What's the best leadership lesson you ever learned on a job site? And what's the worst thing a foreman ever said to you? I want to hear them both. I respond to all the comments, guys, and I love to hear from you. I'm JV Charles, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, guys.